Remember in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy finds out that the great and powerful Oz is just a regular guy hiding behind an elaborate display? That can be what it's like to peer behind the curtain of some rich people's extravagant lives. One peek at their net worth would reveal that a fair number of them are total frauds. Someone's net worth is a great indicator of whether they're actually rich or just fake rich. In today's world where so much of our lives are broadcast on social media, we have been plagued with an epidemic of fake rich people. They may look like they have it all, but in actuality, their net worth is negative and they buy everything on credit. Celebrities aren't immune to this fake rich phenomenon either. After her Monster tour, Lady Gaga found out that she was $3 million in debt. Michael Jackson reportedly died with $400 million in debt, and Donald Trump has declared bankruptcy a whopping 6 times. There are 2 celebs, though, that are keeping it 100 with their money and are definitely real rich. Beyonce and Jay Z. They have an estimated combined net worth of $1.4 billion. And to help you get real rich like the Carters, I'm going to break down how you can calculate your net worth and then tell you some of the strategies Beyonce and Jay Z use to become billionaires. Your net worth is the total value of everything you own after you pay off all your debt. If your assets exceed your liabilities, then your net worth is positive, and if your liabilities exceed your assets, then your net worth is negative. A negative net worth means that if you sold off all of your assets, you still wouldn't be able to pay for all of your debt, and that's a problem. The fake rich have negative net worths and use mounting debt to buy flashy assets like cool cars and trendy clothes. The problem is that the more debt you pile up, the less financially secure you are. It doesn't matter how rich you look. If your whole life is financed using debt, you're one of the fake rich. To make sure you're going to get real rich and not just be fake rich, you should calculate your net worth regularly. If your net worth is increasing, then you're building wealth and you're on the right track. So here's the formula so you can calculate your current net worth. So now you have the formula, but you have to fill in the gap. So first we'll talk about what assets are. Assets are property that you own that has value. Quite simply, if you can list it for sale and someone will buy it, it's an asset. Some examples are homes, cars, businesses, cash and savings, and investment accounts. To calculate your total assets, you should list out all of the property that you own and what its current market value is. If you have smaller things like clothes or furniture, those are technically also considered assets, but I wouldn't include them in your calculation unless you have some that are rare or extremely valuable that you could sell for quite a bit of money. Otherwise, they probably just won't make much of a difference. Once you have everything listed out with its value, then add all of those up to get your total current asset value. Next, we're going to discuss what liabilities are. Liabilities are things that you owe. They're your debts. They're financial obligations that you have to pay to another entity or person. Some examples of these include student loans, car loans, mortgages, personal loans, and credit card debt. To calculate your liabilities, you're going to list out all of the loans that you currently have and what their balances are. Then you'll add them all up to get your total liability amount. Once you have these 2 variables calculated, then you can plug them into the net worth formula to figure out your current net worth. So now that you know where your net worth currently is, you have to know how to increase it. So here are some tips for how to increase your net worth using strategies that Beyonce and Jay Z use to become billionaires. The first one is to buy appreciating assets. And I cannot stress this enough. This is by far the most important thing you should do if you want to build your wealth. You need to focus on buying assets that will make you money, not assets that will make you look like you have money. That's because to get rich, you're gonna have to take the money that you have and use it to make more money. And this goes for cash purchases or purchases financed through debt, because contrary to popular belief, not all debt is bad and it can actually be a fantastic tool to help you build wealth. Regardless of if you're going to use cash or debt to finance your purchase, if you want to build wealth, you need to buy appreciating assets. The reason you need to buy these is because appreciating assets increase in value over time, aka they make you money. 2 of the most popular appreciating assets are real estate and stocks, and that's because historically their returns have been pretty incredible over the long term. So if you're a beginner investor, these are great assets to use to start your wealth building journey. In fact, one of Beyonce's most profitable money moves was when she asked Uber to pay her $6 million in stock instead of accepting cash for a performance. 4 years later, her stock was worth $300 million. So investing your money into wealth building assets like stocks or real estate may leave you with a little bit less cash on hand in the short term, but it's a great opportunity to build long-term wealth. Some other more unconventional appreciating assets that you can invest in are things like businesses, art, commodities, and collectibles. And Jay Z talks about how he built wealth investing in art in his song, The Story of OJ, where he says that he bought a piece of art for $1 million, 2 years later that shit was worth $2 million, and then a few years later later that shit was worth 8 million. So Jay Z's lyrics clearly demonstrate how you can compound your wealth by investing in appreciating assets. He was able to increase his net worth with just one investment by 7 million over just a few years. And this one piece of art is just a tiny portion of the investments that he makes. By investing in multiple appreciating assets, he can dramatically increase the speed at which he builds wealth. And the same goes for you. So tip number 2 to build your wealth is to capitalize on your talents. Jay Z started Rocawear to start making money for himself instead of for other brands. He realized that every time he wore a brand or rapped about it in a song, that brand's sales skyrocketed. If he created his own clothing brand, wore it, and rapped about it, all that money could flow to him instead of to those other brands. So Rocawear was born. While you may not have Jay Z level influence, that doesn't mean that you can't monetize your talents. But the first thing is to figure out what you're talented at. A great way to do this is to think about what friends, family, and coworkers are constantly asking you for advice on. Is it your outfits, or maybe some recipes, or maybe skincare? Whatever it is, that's probably your talent. If the people close to you are asking you for advice on something, they want to be influenced by you. And chances are other people will too. Once you know your talent, then you can monetize it. And there are so many ways you can do this. You can start a blog or a YouTube channel, an Etsy shop. You can open a storefront or a business. The possibilities are literally endless. This method won't work to build wealth though unless you're really willing to dedicate substantial time to making your endeavor successful. Creating businesses and a following of loyal customers can take years and sometimes a substantial amount of money. So unless you're willing to put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and maybe some money up front, then I would not suggest taking this method for building wealth, and instead I would recommend something that's a little bit more passive, like investing in real estate or stocks. Because chances are, if you're not willing to put the time in, you're just gonna lose money on your endeavor. And if that happens, that's literally the opposite of building wealth, so you shouldn't do that. So the formula for increasing your net worth is actually really simple. You just need to buy more appreciating assets and use less bad debt. The hard part is just avoiding the temptation to become fake rich, because being fake rich is pretty fun while it lasts, but it means that you're constantly on the brink of financial ruin. One day, the facade will crack and the truth will be exposed. So to avoid going from being fake rich to being real poor, you should invest in appreciating assets and focus on monetizing your talents. Doing that will grow your wealth and make sure you can become real rich like Jay and Bey. Thank you so much for tuning in with me this week, you guys. If this video helped you figure out how to calculate and grow your net worth, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, because I want to be a rich bitch just as much as you, and it helps me with the algorithm. If you are interested in learning more about investing, building your wealth, and how to become a rich bitch, I release a new video every Saturday that discusses those topics. So please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye.